Hi BookTube. I'm here today to do the Book Snob book tag. I've seen this going around on BookTube. I haven't been tagged by anyone, but it looked interesting, so I thought I would make a video on it, like some own commentary on being snobbed. So the first question is, adaptation snob. Do you always read the book before you see the movie? It depends on my interest in the book. There's some books like Jurassic Park comes to mind that I'm fine watching the movie, but it's something I wouldn't particularly want to pick up. But some books that I just love that I'm happy that I read the book prior to seeing the movie. It just depends. Also the timing, like, because I am not a big movie watcher, so I don't follow what's coming out. I don't see any trailers or anything. So if something pops up, like, oh, I didn't even know that was going to be a movie, and if I have enough time to read the book before the movie comes out in theaters, then I will read it. But if not, I'm okay being spoiled for books. As you see on this channel, I read a lot of nonfiction, so I already know the endings of a lot of those books. So I don't really mind being spoiled for anything because I still get enjoyment from reading those books. So yeah, it just depends. Number 2, format snob. You can only choose one format in which to read books for the rest of your life. Which one do you choose? Physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks? I would pick ebooks just because I can access so many books from my e-reader. And also, I love that format because I can change the font, I can change the color, so I'm not tied to this lamp right here. I can go wherever I want to and read, even if it's dark outside, which is really nice. And also my wrists aren't always the best. I have a lot of like wrist pain sometimes, and so picking up heavy books, in particular like this nonfiction books I'm talking about, they're often pretty meaty. They're heavy to hold, and so having that e-reader, which is like real slim, is really beneficial to me. And so I would have to say ebook would be the format I would choose. Number 3, ship snob. Would you date or marry a non-reader? Yes, I would, but I would prefer than to read it at least just a little bit. Like my boyfriend now, he reads a couple of books a year, which is better than nothing, I think. I mean, I think it's good, even if you're a non-reader, just to, kind of like exercise that muscle of reading, instead of just reading clips or something on the internet. I think it's good for your brain. So I would recommend anyone who's not a reader to, at least pick up one book a year. I mean, that's better than nothing. So yes, I would date them, but I would prefer them being a reader. Just also because you have something you can talk about. Because I get really excited about the books I read. So I do want to share that enthusiasm with someone who at least could be interested in the topics I'm talking about. Number 4, genre snob. You have to ditch one genre, never to be read again for the rest of your life. Which one do you ditch? And I would ditch self-help books. I've tried to read a couple of them, like financial or psychology self-help books, but I've never really found them beneficial at all. They've never really helped me. If I needed to find out about something, I can Google it and not just get one person's opinion who's writing that book, but multiple different opinions and points of view and perspectives online. And so yeah, for sure, self-help books. Number 5, uber genre snob. You can only choose to read from one genre for the rest of your life. Which genre do you choose? And can I just say nonfiction? Because I know a lot of people, like at least on BookTube, when they talk about genres, they seem to like group all of the different nonfiction into just saying nonfiction. So I'm gonna cheat a bit and just say nonfiction would be for sure what I wouldn't mind at all, just reading that. Which is like, I love like Nonfiction November, that's hosted by a book olive. It's like one of my favorite months because I can just like read. I have no excuse. No excuses not to read just nonfiction, which I wouldn't mind doing throughout the whole year. But I do like mixing in some fiction just for like the lighter reads or different reading experience. Number 6, community snob. Which genre do you think receives the most snobbery from the bookist community? And I've watched a couple of people do this tag, and a lot of people have mentioned romance books, and that's what I think as well. Even myself, before I read any romance, I looked at it as like fluffy, like chick lit movie kind of thing, where it's it's like candy, where it's not it's as informative, and yeah, it's just not written as well or what have you. But since I've read quite a few more romance books, I mean, I do see the appeal. They're often very sweet stories, or it gives you that happy ending that you want. And you can learn different things like historical fiction, and you can learn new things about different settings and time periods, and you can still get what you would from literary fiction of the drama, or seeing a person change and grow, and like family dynamics. So yeah, there's a lot in romance books that you wouldn't automatically think, and yeah, I think people should give it more of a chance. So let's see, number 7, snobbery recipient. Have you ever been snubbed for something that you have been reading, or for reading in general? And yes, the first thing that comes to mind for me is my sister, who is not a reader at all, and she would much rather go hang out with people. And she was really, when I was living with her, she was really into partying, which I am not. She would go to clubs and whatnot, that kind of like lifestyle, and so she would constantly pick on me for like, you're reading, don't you think it's something better to do? And that kind of thing. And I was like, no, I'm just perfectly content to be sitting here reading instead of going to a bar or something like that. Which is nothing wrong with that lifestyle, but it's just not what I would choose. So yeah, and then other than that, I can't really think of anything that sticks out in my mind. I've always been a reader. And I'm sure people have looked at me like as a weirdo, or something like most people are on their cell phones, looking or playing games on their cell phones, or as I'm reading. Before I was reading physical books, so I'm sure they could see what I'm reading, but I never got any comments on, oh, what's that book, or I've read it before and it's really good, that kind of thing. I've never gotten those comments. I don't know, maybe the different areas I've been in, like, there's not many readers. I don't know who have any commentary on books. But yeah, that's all the questions. And so I'm not sure who's done this tag and who hasn't. So I'm just going to say, if you have been snobbed, been a snobbery recipient, then consider yourself tagged. Thanks. I'll see you soon, BookTube.